What's up, Eagles Nation? This is Bird Gang 114. I'm Ed, and like usual, this is Cam. And today we're gonna go over share our thoughts on the draft.
Alright.
So let's start off with the first pick. And at the time it happened, probably we were probably like most of you people were kind of like, all right, we're ready. We're gonna go get Hollywood. He's right there for us. And like usual, just when you think you know what's gonna happen, that they're gonna do, does not happen. And at first, when they picked Andre Dillard, I was like,
Another
"Are
offensive
you
lineman. Yeah.
fucking kidding me?" That's what I was saying to myself, and I'm like, "What?" But then I started kind of thinking to myself, all right, I know it's not a sexy pick, but everyone who's an Eagle fan knows it's always the line. Either their offensive line
Or
or
D line.
their D line.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, does not surprise me at all. What'd you expect? But I thought about, okay, Jason Peters probably got another year, maybe a year and a half in him. Vitai's not that bad.
I liked him.
Yeah, me too.
He did really good in that Super Bowl
He
year.
got us he got us to the Super Bowl. He played through the Super Bowl. In my book, he's good people. All right, he's not the best. He's not the worst, but he can get better. But I can see where they're coming from. So like I'm like so I was like, all right, I can live with it. But then I saw the other day. I don't know if you saw it, Cam, but on the Eagles website where it was like basically like a meet the players type of thing, they had Jeff Stoutland, the offensive line coach, talking about the pick. And when I watched it, I recommend if you haven't seen it to watch it. It's just incredible. The guy goes over the film footage and basically talks why they liked him and why they took him, and it's incredible. It's really what they're talking about because on the film he shows how number one he says he loves his balance. He has great balance,
And that's
and
huge.
yeah, and the whole thing about him not being a great run blocker, he said he has and possesses everything he needs that he can work with it to do. But if you watch the video, he'll talk about his balance and him mentally already knowing what's going to happen and how far of his steps back he has to do and the angle he has to take by seeing how the DN, how close he is to him, how far to the outside, which leg is back, and basically he already knows if he's going to cut on the inside, okay, he's going to do it on step two, or if it's going to be, he has to do it on step one. It's just, the video is incredible because the man is underrated in his mental game. It's just, once you watch that video, you'll be like, oh my lord, this guy's like, there's more to football than just physics. It's mental. Part of the game's mental, and this kid's way ahead of the curve. And everything that he needs, he has in the run game. He's underrated. There's one part where he shows how he gets in side to side, passes the man off, picks up another guy. It's just incredible. It's really good. Watch it if you get a chance. What do you think, Kim?
Uh, they traded up to get this guy. West Baltimore. I think they made a deal saying no Hollywood Brown if you make this trade up, and I think that's why we didn't get him, Hollywood Brown. But this tackle, he had like 677 pass blocks, only let one sack allowed, and that's gonna be.
Unacceptable. No, just kidding. Just,
But if you could do that in the NFL, that's gonna be incredible.
yeah.
And sometimes, same, but you don't need that much of a run block person as a left tackle. You need to take care of the person blind side, so that's technically for a
Yeah.
pass blocker anyways. So if his run block ain't the best, it's not big of problem because a left tackle takes over all blind side. So
If you really watch film, and you'll see we don't usually run to Peter's side anyways. We're always running to between Brandon Brooks and Lane Johnson. So I mean that's the guy down the street. I'm not making it up.
that's why I'm saying even if the run blocking problem was a problem, it's not as big as people will think.
Yeah, but this guy he can be worked on. That's no problem.
And that's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he can learn a little guard too if he always need a problem with that. So
Yeah, I hear you.
That's just in case. Second round though. How about
Yeah.
Miles Sanders? Woo! I told you. I
I'm
told
gonna
you.
give you credit. You did get it right. You got the pick right.
I told you.
You got it right.
I just told you.
When
I
you're
like
right,
you.
you're right. Okay, you were right. What do you want? A medal?
Hey, I think Deuce Staley said to get this guy.
I'm pretty sure he did too. I'm pretty sure he did because he trained. He was at his pro day. He ran the drills for him. I guess they're kind of happy that he's got a lot of tread life on him because he kind of was behind Saquon there for the longest at Penn State, so he didn't take that. He didn't get abused that much. So from what I understand, he had like 1,200 and something rushing yards and had almost 200 receiving yards, and he's only going to get better. And I remember we were talking about it during the draft. We looked up LaShawn McCoy's weight and height and all that.
And it's basically the same. Yeah.
The same exact height and weight.
So close.
And then when we were going over the highlights and everything too, I was like, damn, this guy's got a burst. He's got a little bit
Extra
of that,
speed.
Yeah, he's got a little bit
It's
of
extra
that
oomph.
shake and bake. You know what I mean?
That's why I think it's going to be just like LaShawn McCoy for us. And think about him and Jordan Howard.
Imagine if he was like LaShawn McCoy.
And then you have like Jordan Howard plowing through and getting him tired. And then you got this fast guy coming.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! And then you got Josh Allen to make it worse. It's over for them.
Hopefully Corey Clements gets back on track like when he was in during the Super Bowl year because
I forgot about him, but can't forget about all those plays he makes on those screens. And those wheel routes and all that. I feel like we didn't use that enough last year. I didn't even think we did one, to be honest. Didn't feel like it was a lot of screens, the receiver screens, running back screens, not our wheel routes and all that.
It was a weird season. It was definitely a weird season, especially for the running backs.
Yeah.
But the other second round pick, I was like J.J. What was his last name? Whiteside or something.
Yep.
I was like, I didn't know that much about him. But then when I started looking into him, I guess he's a pretty good athletic background. His parents are both pro basketball players overseas, from what I understand. Not like NBA, but overseas. And I mean, when you watch his highlights, you definitely you could see where the basketball comes into play. I mean, he blocks out
the corner.
Yeah.
The corner has no chance.
He got no shot.
Unbelievable.
And every ball that's in the air, it's his. It's like, you throw a jump ball. My comparison for him, and I know you're probably going to hate this comparison because, Dallas sucks, but he reminds me of what a Dez Bryant kind of player was, where he doesn't have total breakout speed, but he still was able to make plays, and kind of in a pure Alshon Jeffrey. He's going up. If he's anywhere in the neighborhood of the ball, he's got the ball.
I was going to say I would compare him to Alshon.
Yeah, no, I
it's
agree.
mostly Alshon and Jimmy Graham basketball. He could use them box out, I think. Something like that. I'm not saying he's a tight end, but how he uses his body.
It seems to me like he could turn into something decent. I was just happy they didn't trade Nelson Aguilar.
I hope we still have him, to keep him.
I'm telling you what, no matter, he's going to have a big year for us because he's going to be back in the slot. Instead of being on the outside where he's not as good. But when he's in the slot, forget about it. He makes big play after big play. He's not, you never hear him, any problems with him. I'm just happy that they decided to keep him. And
that's huge.
That is huge.
I'm happy. I didn't like him when he played outside. It just doesn't
work. It's not the same player.
And that's exactly what Jordan Matthews. They're both not outside type of guy, and they're both slots, and they kept Aguilar over him. And I think if we keep him in a slot, that's gonna be huge. Look at it. You always get open. And now if you have Deshaun outside and Alshon there, and then you got this new guy. Come on.
And then you still got to cover the running back.
Ertz. How about Ertz?
Someone has to be open.
Talking about that. Talking about this receiver and all that. Think about the red zone. Alshon Jeffrey, JJ, Zach Ertz, and Dallas Goedert. They're all vertical threats. That's scary. And red zone threat. That's those type of guys who would just jump up and be like, no problem, guy.
Yeah.
And then you get Jordan Howard and Josh Adams plowing down the middle, or you gotta do a pitch or a stretch or something. And you got Miles Sanders now, or Corey Clement. It's interesting.
It's going to be interesting. As long as everyone can stay healthy, you know, and Carson gets his shit back together, we should be back. We should be okay. We should be okay. And you know what I liked about the 4th rounder?
I was gonna say I like the pick.
You know what? Another Penn State guy, local guy.
What is it about that Penn State?
I don't know. You know what? I don't. You know what? I like the pick not because of production wise, but the person that he is.
The
And
heart.
The reason I say that, he is like Vinny Curry. He's an Eagle fan. He used to go to when he was at the combine. They asked him, "Well,
how would you feel
if the Eagles picked you?"
pick you?
And he says he used to go to the games with his grandpa. I mean, that when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, he cried with his family. He goes that if the Eagles chose him, his family would go bananas. This is like a dream come true for something you've wanted your whole life. And you know what? To me, that means he's gonna give everything he has on every play, and this is gonna be more than just a job or a paycheck. This guy wants it. He wants to have his name in the Eagles books. You know what I'm saying? He wants his name in the record books. He wants to make his family proud because to all those people. Okay, sure, if he was on the Kansas City Chiefs, it'd be great. My son's on the Kansas City Chiefs, but being on the Eagles, that's another level for this guy.
And sometimes heart goes more than talent. Sometimes too.
Sometimes
you can have talent and be like really good, but not really.
I know what you're saying.
Get that extra playing. As this guy, he's gonna come early. He's gonna do like everything 110%, not 100%. It's gonna be 110.
And
this guy's gonna give it all, and you said. But I'm happy, and that's gonna be another DN.
And he's got so many guys on this D line to learn from who can teach this kid. I mean, we're
That's
stacked.
unbelievable. Fletcher
We are
Cox and
stacked.
Malik Jackson.
Dude, if we even lost half the guys to injuries, we'd still be stacked.
I know. And you know what? Brian Graham could teach him Fletcher Cox because he used to play the end on the 3-4.
Jerrigan is. I'm so happy with that.
That was a big
they
signing.
Signed him before the draft. I am so happy because if this guy could get back into shape, because I'm sure everybody knows when he came back, he wasn't the same. He was out of shape a little bit. But you know what?
It was huge.
It was huge. All of a sudden, people weren't running through big gaping holes when he was in there.
Once he left, it was just like run left and right. It
when
was
when he was back at the end of the season, that shit got stopped. So,
talk about that. We even added defensive line. Another one from a 7th round we traded.
Yeah. I think his name.
I think it was worth it.
Well, yeah. The whole reason they chose him, I guess, they were looking at him before he got drafted in the 4th round that year. I guess because there was a.
And he's young, 24.
Yeah, it's basically we got the 7th round pick from the Patriots.
Basically, it was a nice extra pick.
It was a free pick, which we traded to Indy.
Colts,
yeah, so it's basically like giving a 7th and getting a 4th rounder.
And that's perfect.
Yeah, so who cares? You know, he'll be a rotational player, I'm sure.
The reason why I saved this guy's last, Clayton Thorson, is because another quarterback.
Another quarterback.
Does that mean anything to Wentz, you think?
No. To me,
How about Nate Sudfeld? Do they not trust him as a backup?
I think they do, but Wentz does tend to get hurt, so I would say this is kind of just another guy in there. Hopefully it's competition for him and the Perez from the AAF.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about him, too.
Yeah.
Sign him.
So, I mean, it's just a competition thing, which I think the kid can learn,
Learn the system.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
if
great.
Doug Peterson can't get him to be a good quarterback, I don't think anyone
Anybody
else
can because
could.
he used to be a quarterback. And look at him now.
Yeah, remember when he was at the Eagles as a starting QB? I remember that.
I don't think.
And Doug, we trust. Duh.
You're absolutely right. Ashley. And now, a couple guys that went undrafted.
And you know what? And it's important too. This is how we got Corey Clement. So undrafted, I'm happy.
Undrafted, you get a lot of people, that sometimes it's better that when you don't get drafted, you go to a team that really needs you.
Because they're going to want to play another 110%. They want to be on that
They
roster.
want to make the roster,
and
too.
prove everybody wrong, saying we should.
Hey, we finally got a linebacker. Undrafted.
It wasn't Trey Lamar, but this guy, I'm happy still. It's still good. This guy's great, I think.
Well, the only reason
run stopper.
run stopper.
And
That's
that's
what we
huge.
need.
Even though he's not that coverage guy, he's a run stopper. His name is T.J. Edwards from Wisconsin.
The only thing is he probably fell in the draft, I would say, because what you brought up earlier about him only having 16 reps in the bench press at the combine, that's gonna kind of hurt when a punter has more than you. And height wise, he's only, at a linebacker, he's only 6 feet tall. That's gonna kind of doesn't fit the mold of every team. You know what I mean? But you know, some of the best linebackers were undersized. You know, like I forget the gentleman's name from the Carolina Panthers, but back in the day. But I mean, hopefully he can help out.
Talking about that, I think it fit in well, easily.
Hopefully.
I think he could with some. Bradham could teach him stuff and all that, so I'm hoping that. We got veteran linebackers.
I think what's going to
Bradham,
happen.
Foote,
It's going to happen. What is going to be what we were talking about? They really aren't. I think they're really going to sign someone
or trade.
or
I think
trade in with the free agency, but they're not going to do it till after May 7th. Because if you pick up a big name now, like say a Zach Brown, or you go get a Bynes, or if you make a trade for like was it Smith from the Jaguars, you're gonna lose a compensatory pick, and
we gathered
they've
a
played
lot.
this game for so long. They're gonna be like, you know what? What's another 8 days to wait? And I think after May 7th, where you can't lose any picks, that's when they're gonna make a move.
I agree.
How about that other Penn State guy undrafted we got, the DeAndre, is it Tompkins or Thompson?
Tompkins, I think. This guy's fast. He has that extra second level of speed, and that's perfect. I think if Jackson teaches him, that could be huge.
I think his...
Because you got this big dude we just drafted in the second round, and you got him. And Alshon's, I'm not saying he's getting right now old, but a couple of years he's going to start getting to be old, and he's going to be the Alshon. And you got this guy as Jackson, that could be awesome.
If you see his highlights, I think he's going to fit in with the Eagles more as a, I would say...
Kick return, punt return there?
Punt return guy, kicker. The guy is not bad. He found holes. He hit the hole. He didn't hesitate. Where you see these guys go for half an hour and then they move.
Yeah. I hate that.
He makes a decision. He goes and they're gone. You know.
No going backwards either. It doesn't seem like
God,
it.
I hate that with a passion.
No offense, but Deshaun does it once in a while. But still, I think this guy could just hit it, and that's great.
Yeah.
That's
So I think
the type
his
of guys
team,
we need.
I think his team. That's where he's gonna make his mark on the team on special teams. That's how he's gonna stick.
And that's great. And
We need special teams.
you know who else I like? Who we don't have anymore?
Huh.
DeAndre Carter. I
Yeah.
thought he was gonna be like
He's gonna be
that.
the same as that.
He's gonna be the same like that, and I think he's even faster. So that's perfect.
Yes. And,
Honestly.
another, kid that went locally to school, so which is nice to see the Eagles are starting to do. But I believe he's going to be a good player.
You think Chris Long is staying? As
I'm going to
Good
say
luck.
yes.
I think they drafted a DN, so maybe it depends how they
That's
feel about him.
That's an insurance policy.
Yeah,
That's a
pretty
total
much.
insurance policy in case he doesn't come. And but I think
That's what he said to do. Also,
but I honestly think in the end he'll be back.
I agree. I think he always makes that play that we need to continue that game. Like we be down, he makes that play.
He just makes that
make
one
it
play to get us back in gear
into the game. Yeah,
and get the freaking crowd going.
Yep.
He has that thing that just gets the crowd going. Remember that game? What was it against Houston? Maybe last year, where he put on the mask after
and everybody was going crazy.
Freaking
Oh my
place
god!
went nuts, dude! Because they showed it on the big screen, in the stadium. The place just exploded, and he was loving it. He was glued to it.
I liked it.
Oh, me too.
I like the
think
idea.
I like him. I hope he stays around. They need good character guys, and they need guys that can make a play in a pinch, and they've been in big situations.
How about Darren Sproles? You think he's getting back or no? And that's tough because we got Smallwood. Don't forget. Do we still have Pumphrey? I don't know.
Did we ever have Pumphrey?
Didn't work out too well, but we have so many running backs. I'm not saying do we need Darren Sproles, but
We have so many.
Do we have enough room for
Yeah,
him?
I know.
Or do we think that new receiver could take his
I
return
don't
spot and got new
I would
running back?
say for everything that he's done for the team, if he wants to come back, he should be able to come back.
I agree.
I mean, loyalty should be rewarded.
All
Alright,
right.
well-
Anything else?
No, I was just gonna say, thanks a lot for coming, on the ride here with us today, and welcome to the family. I would say like and subscribe.
And leave a comment.
Oh, let's only leave a comment this time. Leave a fucking comment.
Teach me.